Welcome back students. This is the second video of metals and non-metals. In this video we will learn how metals and non-metals react. How do metals and non-metals react? Now we know that metals lose its valence electrons, right, to form cations. The metals have generally 1, 2 or 3 valence electron in their outermost shell. They donate their valence electrons so that they can attain a noble gas configuration or octet configuration. Whereas non-metals, they have 4, 5, 6, 7 electrons in their valence shell and they accept an electrons so that they attain a nearest noble gas configuration or octet configuration. And when they metals lose electrons to form cations, whereas non-metals gain electrons from their valence shell to form anions. Now this cation and anion are attracted to each other by the strong electrostatic force and thus forming an ionic bond. Now in ionic bond, what is ionic bond? In an ionic bond, there is a transfer of electrons from metals to non-metals. Clear? In an ionic bond, there is a transfer of metals. There is a transfer of an electron from a metal to non-metal. Whereas in covalent bond, there is a sharing of electron. So let us take an example of an ionic bond. Calcium chloride. Now calcium has an atomic number 20. So its electronic configuration is 2882. So this 2, there are 2 electrons in the outermost shell. If it donates its 2 electron in the from its valence shell, then it can attain a noble gas configuration. Whereas, so when it is donating 2 electrons, so it is forming Ca2 plus. Why it is forming Ca2 plus? Because it is donating 2 electron, right? Now, whereas chlorine atom, what is the atomic number of chlorine? 17, 287. So electronic configuration is what? 287. It needs 1 electron in its valence shell, right? There are 7 electrons in the valence shell and it needs 1 electron from the valence shell so that it can attain a noble gas configuration. So when it accepts an electron, the electronic configuration is from 288. So there are 2 chlorine atom which is taking 1 electron each. Because calcium has 2 electron and chlorine needs only 1 electron. So calcium is giving 2 electron, 1 electron each to 2 atoms of chlorine. 1 each to 2 atoms of chlorine and thus forming a compound known as CaCl2, calcium chloride, right? Similarly, we can also take one example, that is sodium chloride. Sodium has an electronic configuration 281, whereas chlorine has 287. So sodium has 1 electron more, means if it donates 1 electron from its valence shell, it can attain a noble gas configuration, whereas chlorine, it needs 1 electron so that it can attain nearest noble gas configuration. So sodium donates 1 electron forming a cation, that is Na plus, and chlorine is accepting an electron Cl minus and thus forming a bond NaCl. Na plus plus Cl minus forming a bond NaCl. Now what are ionic compound? Ionic compound are those compounds, the electrostatic attractions between the oppositely charged ion, that is cation and anion, and hold the compound together. This only holds the compound together. And the examples we can see MgCl2, CaO, MgO, NaCl, KCl, etc. Now what are the properties of ionic compound? Ionic compound are usually crystalline solids. It means crystal in nature, and it is made up of ions. As it is made up of iron and they have a strong electrostatic force of attraction, so they have a high melting and boiling point. Why do they have a high melting and boiling point? Because they have a strong electrostatic attraction. To overcome this attraction, they have a high melting and boiling point. They conduct electricity. Why they conduct electricity? Because they have free ions. when it is when they have a free ions, when it is in aqueous state or in a molten state. So ionic compounds are mostly soluble in water and polar solvent. Polar solvent, that means they can dissolve in water. Physical nature, ionic solids usually exist in regular or well-defined crystal structure. Clear? Now, electric conduction of ionic compound. Ionic compound conduct electricity in the molten or aqueous state. I am repeating myself. Ionic compound can conduct electrons only in aqueous or molten state, because in this state they have the ions are free, the ions are mobile, but they cannot conduct the electricity when it is in a solid state, because it is tightly packed. They don't have a free ions or free mobile ions so that it can move. Clear? So ionic compounds conduct electricity in the molten or aqueous state. When ions become free, it acts as a charge carriers. It acts as a charge carriers. But in solid form, the ions are strongly held by electrostatic force and they are not free to move. Hence, they do not conduct electricity. Now you can see the example with the help of diagram. I am trying to explain you that this is the solid state. It is tightly packed. There is no the intermolecular force of attraction is maximum. So they don't have space. So they don't have any space in the solid state where it can move. Thus, it is unable to conduct electricity. But in molten or in aqueous state, it is the intermolecular force of attraction is much more than the solid state, and it is free, it can move, and as a result the ions which are the positive ions move to the negative terminal. That means cations move towards the cathode and anions move towards the anode, right? And thus it is able to produce electricity. This is why, for example, ionic compounds such as NaCl does not conduct electricity when it is in solid state, but it can, when it is dissolved in a water or it is in a molten state, it can conduct electricity. Why? Because they have a free ions, free electrons to move. So here also I am showing you one example that salt solution conduct electricity. Now, melting and boiling point of ionic compound. As I told you that the melting and boiling point of compounds are very high. Why it is very high? Because the electrostatic force of attraction is very strong, is maximum in this molecule, among these molecules. So to overcome this, they require a high amount of energy. This is why the melting point and the boiling point of ionic compound are usually very high. See, in ionic compound, the strong electrostatic force between ions require a high amount of energy to break. Thus, the melting and point and boiling point of an ionic compound are usually very high. In this case, this is a solid structure. In this case, the melting and boiling point is very high as compared to when it is in aqueous state. Clear? Now, most ionic compounds are soluble in water due to the separation of ions by water. They are soluble in water because they separation by water, and this occurs due to the polar nature of water, because they have a polar nature. Ionic compounds have polar nature. NaCl is a 3D salt crystal composed of Na plus and Cl minus. This is bounded together by an electrostatic force of attraction. Now, when a crystal of NaCl comes into contact with water, the partial positively charged ends of water molecules interact with Cl minus, chlorine minus, Na plus ions, partially interact with chlorine minus, while the negatively charged end of the water interacts with Na plus ions. So chlorine ions migrate towards, it is anion, it will migrate towards anode, whereas Na plus, it is a cation, it will migrate towards cathode. So the ion dipole interaction between ion and water molecule assists in breaking the strong electrostatic, and this only helps in breaking the strong electrostatic force of attraction, and ultimately the within the crystal, and ultimately in the solubility of the crystal when it is soluble. Understood? This dipole interaction between ion and water only helps in breaking the strong electrostatic force of attraction. So this was all about how do metals and non-metals react and the properties of ionic compound. In the next video, we will learn about the extraction of metals. So till then, please do watch this video. If you have any doubt, please let me know. Stay safe. Thank you.